It's Jane o'clock na! Hello mga kachar, Sobra nakangiti na agad. And for today's video, syempre, we are with Sir Kyle or Mr. Kyle.
Yeah.
Oo, yan. And we are gonna share with you his reasons why he moved overseas to work as a teacher. Is it okay if we'll speak like English or,
Yeah, okay lang
or
yan.
Taglish? Because,
Konyo.
we will be Konyo for today's video because I have some subscribers who
Okay.
are also from other countries
Yeah.
who's really interested to, get to know us
Yeah, sure.
from our experiences. Okay, so we'll start with, so Kyle, would you like to share with us something about you? Who are you? What do you do?
Oh,
Yeah, di ba?
All right. So,
Taray.
my name is Caligrey Fabrado. I'm from the Philippines, particularly in Pangasinan, in the northern part of the Philippines. And I'm 26 years old. I moved overseas when I was 24.
Wow.
And the first country to go to was in Australia, but I was on a different visa. I didn't really teach there, but that paved the way how I came to become a teacher here in New Zealand.
So I'll start asking questions already, right? So first, what made you think, or what was the reason, the main reason why you moved overseas?
Primarily, it's because my father got really sick and somebody had to step up. And being the eldest child of my parents, I decided to move overseas and at least earn a decent amount to be able to support the growing expenses of the family. Medication, education, family needs. Yeah.
Okay. So I'll cut you with that. Before you actually move overseas, what was your job? Where were you?
So I graduated in 2018. I took the boards at the same year, but I started teaching in 2019. So from 2019 to 2021, I was a full-time teacher.
Ay, okay.
I had experience working as a secondary teacher in a private school, but 1 year stint as a university instructor. But alongside teaching, I was doing other stuff as well, side hustles.
Yes.
I was hosting and serving as, mostly is hosting, moderating, conferences, ganyan.
Yep.
Yeah, so pretty much those were the things that I did in the Philippines.
So in short, you were teaching in the Philippines for 2 years. So that was your experience. 2 years teaching experience in schools and in university.
Yeah.
Tama ba? And then you decided to move to Australia on what kind of visa?
So I moved to Australia on a student visa, subclass 500. And at the time, it was...
Subclass 500.
Yeah.
Okay.
So at the time, it was a bit relaxed because I wasn't required to have a show money.
When was this?
It was in 2022 when I started applying for my visa.
Okay. So that's when you started.
Yeah.
In to be specific, which month?
I started applying in October 2022, but I got the visa in January 2023.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then when you were providing the documents, for the assessment outcome, was it difficult to apply for a student visa that time in Australia?
I think it's easy to apply given the documents that I have. They're all ready actually.
Okay.
But the main challenge for a person applying for a student visa was the genuine temporary entrant, or what we call as the GTE.
Okay.
So you have to justify why you wanted to study in Australia. So I basically wrote an 18-page document just to justify why I needed to study in Australia.
And how long was the program?
The program that I was taking back then was Early Childhood Education and Care.
Okay.
It's a certificate and at the same time a diploma course.
Which is what level in Australia?
In Australia, I think that's level 3 and diploma.
Okay. So, because to be able to get residency in Australia,
Mm-hmm.
you need specific diploma or level, right? So with that kind of education as a student visa, will you be able to get residency after you graduate?
Being on a student visa does not really necessarily mean that you have a pathway to
For
residency.
residency.
Yeah.
Okay. And that is what we wanted to, emphasize
Yeah.
that it's really difficult to go in a country on a student visa,
Yes.
even if you have the means,
Yeah.
right? Because,
I'd say so, yes.
yes, because the good thing with you is you don't have to show money, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
For when you applied last 2022.
Yeah.
Because with me, when way back, me and my husband were also thinking of doing student visa in Canada
Mm-hmm.
because we didn't want to go back to the Philippines after our J1 program.
Yeah.
Which is J1 program, by the way, just a reminder, is a 5-year visa wherein you can teach as a teacher or you can work as a teacher in the US. But you
Yes.
have to be you have to go back to your home country, which was me in the Philippines for 2 years. So going back to your experience, so yes, everything was prepared, everything was like, were there any difficulties along the way when you
Applied for it.
when you applied for it?
When I got the visa
Yeah,
or
what before
during?
during that time.
It's kind of personal because
Okay.
I resigned. Actually, I had to correct. It's 2019 to 2022.
In the making.
I mean, 2019, I started practicing teaching.
Ay, okay.
2022 was the year when I resigned at the university. So 3 years all in all.
Ay, okay.
2 years in the basic ed, 1 year in the tertiary.
Okay.
So when I resigned in 2022, I got different job offers, but the ambitious person that I was,
Which is good.
yeah,
Yeah, which we
the
love.
ambitious person that I was, I declined all the permanent positions that I was offered to. I applied for Dubai. I got the job, but I
Yes.
also didn't pursue. So that's when I decided to apply for the student visa in Australia. But it was a tedious work. It was
Okay.
a tedious process because I had to compile all the documents and I had to wait for the immigration to send me correspondence na requirements that I have to like
Yes.
comply pa. Ganyan, I had to go to different lugar para for the medicals and I had parang I had to do more medicals because there was something that they saw in my
Okay.
medical results. So those were the minute challenges along the
Okay.
way. But the main challenge that I would say would be when I was already waiting for the visa to be granted
Okay.
or to have the result. But when it was too long already, kasi short, parang yung patience ko,
Impatience.
very
Yeah.
impatient
Impatient.
ako. Very impatient in the sense na I was just waiting for the result.
Okay.
But I was thinking of already retracting the application.
Ay, okay. Kasi, why? It's too long. We have to.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I remember I started applying in October 2022. And it was January 7, I believe. That was Saturday, January 7. I wrote a letter to my agency that I was retracting because should I get the visa grant, I would not have the means to pursue anymore.
Okay.
Because all
So,
my resources mostly
Yung
were
max
used
out.
Yeah.
Yes. But, so, you had an agency.
Yes.
So, in Australia, you have to have an agency to be able to apply as a student?
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
Okay.
But for someone who doesn't have an experience like applying for a visa to any country of any sort,
that is the main choice. Just to be
yeah,
safe.
just to be safe.
Okay.
Yes.
But if you would go back, do you think you can do it by yourself
Yes.
without help? Okay.
Definitely.
Yes. And then, are you willing to share how much did you spend on that span of time when you were applying as a student visa
Okay.
in Australia?
Yep. So we remove in the equation the show money.
Yes.
So I did have large expenses in terms of the
Medical.
down payment. So if someone wants to like apply for a student visa, before you could apply for the visa per se, you have to secure a certificate of enrollment from the university or
Okay.
from the education provider that you would be attending to. So I spent like I, s- I think I paid for 110,000 pesos for just the initial down payment, so they could issue me a certificate of
How
enrollment.
much again?
110,000
Pesos.
pesos.
So in Australian dollars, that's
That's
roughly.
around 3,000 ish.
So that's the down payment.
Yeah.
But the whole program.
The whole program would be like 1 million.
Ay, okay. But you don't have to pay it.
Yeah.
So the first thing you should secure was that thing
Yeah.
that you were saying.
Because you need the certificate of enrollment to be
Okay.
able to apply for the visa.
the visa. And then when they accepted you, when you already paid, that's the time they will process also your visa
Yeah.
because you got accepted.
Definitely.
Ay, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know that. So, 110. So, January, you had your visa.
Yeah.
When did you go to Australia?
All right. So I received my visa January 10, 2023.
Okay.
I was already working again in a university.
Okay.
I just started in November of 2022. That's one of the reasons why I didn't want to pursue anymore, because
Yes, it's
the
already
reason why I
some-
applied because I ran out of resources.
Yes.
So as I was mentioning earlier, January 7, I wrote a letter that I was retracting my application. And 3 days after that, I received the visa grant. So
Thank you,
imagine the turn,
Yes.
the turn around ng event.
Yes.
So from that point of view, I'm just really happy that I do have like a couple of friends who were so supportive about my application. So they funded actually
The
my
110, everything that you
No,
took.
I already
Okay.
paid for everything.
Okay.
The main thing that I just needed back then was the
Flights.
flight fare, my pocket money,
Accommodation.
and of course, as I was mentioning then, I was supporting the family, so I had to at least leave some amount
Yes, for the family
for
before
the
you
family
leave. Yeah.
before I leave, because no one knows if you applied for a student visa, work is not guaranteed.
Yes.
And at the time, the page where Filipino students in Australia are, you could see there like a number of experiences from many student visa holders who came before me, that they really had difficulty finding jobs. Like it took them like a month, 2 months, 3 months.
So, okay. So the main reason why you wanted to move abroad or to go work or study abroad
Yeah.
is because to support the family.
Yes.
But just like what you said, it's so difficult to get a job.
Mm-hmm.
What made you think of doing student visa?
Okay.
Yeah. So why is
I think since I have
friends?
I know myself
Okay.
that I know myself that I can easily connect with people, and I would bench on my capacity to connect with people, to make networks.
Okay.
So I know that is a new country and a new place for me, but before coming over, I think that's one of the best things about social media. You get to connect with people whom you haven't met, and we are testaments to that.
Yes.
Yeah. So before flying, I was already connected with a couple of
Filipinos.
Yeah. So I'm just happy that there were many people who helped me along the way. So when I arrived, there was a couple who helped me settle down.
Shout out po.
Yeah, they're in Canada now.
Wow, shout out po. Hi
Yeah.
hi to sa
Hi,
Canada.
Ate Kate and Kuya
Hi, Ate
Jedi.
Kate and Kuya.
Jedi.
Kuya Jedi. Hello po. God
Yes.
bless you.
Yeah. So pretty much, I was settled in the first.
Yes,
Yeah.
when you arrived.
But
so
I had
everything
to
is
do the work finding a job.
so that is the another
Yeah.
difficulty or another thing that you have to prepare.
Yes.
So it still bugs me to think of why student visa. Do you have friends who told you that, oh, come on, Kyle, let's go to Australia?
No.
So there's nobody.
No.
It's just that you really wanted to go abroad.
Yes.
And you thought that Australia might be the
Yeah.
reason to, to at least be in a better situation.
I know. Yes, I believe yes.
Yes.
since I was benching on my capacity to connect
Yes.
with people, I was able to. Um, I remember one of the days that I was looking for a job. I went to a mall with 10 copies of my resume,
Okay.
and I had to go knocking in different stores,
Okay.
handing my
Your
resume.
resume. Yeah.
And one time, sorry, meron yung Filipina who was working in a cell
Cafe.
shop.
Okay.
And I told her, this is verbatim ha.
Okay.
I told her, Tita, baka someone who can hire someone because I'm looking for a job.
Okay.
Sabi niya, oh, I am working in this restaurant.
Okay.
And Filipina yung manager.
Yeah.
Yun. So I went there. And I handed my resume. She she just looked in my resume. Oh, teacher ka pala, sabi niya.
Yeah.
So doon na lang ako doon na lang ako
Rely.
oo.
Okay. For reference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Teacher ka pala sa atin.
Yeah. Okay.
So I started working and I'm just really happy.
Wow. Thank you, Lord. Another blessing, di ba?
Yeah.
That's good. So, ano yan, like 2 weeks, a week, when after you arrived? Kasi you
I
haven't
think,
started, di ba? You
yeah.
haven't started school yet.
The first week was me just settling down, getting to know the place.
Yes.
Walking around the city.
And where is this?
In Queensland.
Okay, Queensland. Okay.
Particularly in Toowoomba City.
Wow. Yan na.
The flower
Now you know.
city in Queensland. Hello, shout out.
So, if I will ask you again, will you still choose this path?
I'd say so. Yeah.
Why?
Number one, because I was teaching for I know it's not that long, but I taught for 3
3
years.
years, yep.
So all along, all these past years, I was in the teaching bit in school, but also in the ministries that I was,
Yes.
involved with. So I took that opportunity to have a time off from the academe.
Okay.
And it really gave me more opportunities to be able um, to test myself. How far could I go away from the academe, ganyan. And it really provided me with substantial learning experiences, really like connecting with foreign people, understanding
Yes.
different diverse backgrounds,
Yes.
sabi ko nga, connecting with a diverse people and learning how to, make connections, especially in a country that you are foreign. Diba? It's really tough. Sabi ko nga, it is humbling that for someone like me who had a degree in the Philippines, in my home country, now going to work in a restaurant, in a bubble tea shop, in a Vietnamese restaurant, and finally sa aged care work. It's really humbling because that's when I realized na you get to learn more when you try different careers then. And no
Yes.
career is better than other careers.
Yes.
That's what I realized overseas. Your degree in your home country does not really weigh much when you move overseas, because overseas or moving overseas would mean that you have to learn again, to unlearn and to relearn. You have to unlearn the things that you have been doing in the Philippines. Or i-unlearn mo yung entitlement mo na
Yes.
you are a professional in your home
Yes.
country. Because who would have thought that maghuhugas ako ng puwet ng mga matatanda, maghuhugas ako ng mga ganyan,
Yes.
na magmamap ako ng floor. Though I was doing that like in the F&B industry, in the food and beverage industry. But the real
The
game
weight of-
changer
yes.
talaga sa akin was working in the aged care.
Yes.
Though that's the job that I really love the most.
Why did you so from being a teacher to being a healthcare provider or a support worker or a caregiver, so you said that you were humbled by
by the
that,
experience,
by the experience. So what made you realize those kinds of situations? Bakit, what was that, like an eye-opening situation that you've felt that?
Actually, since I moved from one job to another that's
Yeah.
not in teaching,
Yes.
I would have to start all over again.
Yep.
Kumbaga, in the sense that you don't know anything at all. Yes, you can connect with people,
Yep.
but you don't know how it works in the industry.
Yes.
Like, number one, not everybody can actually connect with people. Like,
Yes.
interpersonally,
Yes.
diba? Some people are introvert and not really,
Yes.
good in
Conversing or talking with other
conversing
people.
with
Yeah.
other people,
Yes.
ganyan. Second, since wala kang alam sa industry, you have to be kind to yourself na, you have to learn again.
Yes. Just like what the words of wisdom that you were talking about. You have to unlearn. You
Yeah.
have to relearn or
Yeah.
learn again things, 'di ba? Pero so ano ba yung tatanong ko? Nakakaloka yung experience mo
It is, I
yes.
think.
And that's why I had friends when
Yeah.
they were talking about when they were telling me they wanted to do a student visa in another country or in another country. I was telling them, you know what, my sister told me not to do that because there are certain hours only where you could work.
Yeah.
Unless you are gonna do under the table. Kasi there were some things that people were saying na,
Yeah.
oy, you should try this because you know what? As a student visa, you can work a lot of
Hours,
hours
yeah.
and then you can send it to the family in the Philippines. So, things like that. But honestly, it's not really like that. Now, we are going to cut this video. We will be having a part 2 wherein we are going to be asking, Sir, why did you move to New Zealand?
Yeah.
I
Sure.
hope you guys have learned something. Bye mga ka-char, mga ka-char!